Build. They built a bower. We were not allowed to rest in its shade. We built a tower that loomed over their crops. Sun-starved, they built a machine, planted it in our fields, painted it green so we would not see it snatching our feasts from beneath their feet. We built a god that hooked its jaws through their children. They built a new universe. We watched them go, built gardens in their ruins. We grew restless, built a rocket. Inside, we travel across galaxies looking for their land. We build each day new ways to make them come home. We build up our hopes that this time they'll stay.
Thanks. And that was Build from one of the first poems Jennifer wrote from her new book, Again. And do you want to talk a little bit about the creation of this book? It's an interesting, what it reminded me of reading it last night was Mathia Harvey's book, Modern Life, which has the terror of future and the future of terror, that wonderful sequence about sort of post 9/11, Patriot Act world and all that stuff. There's a weird way that it's like, the words that inspired the poems, as I imagine, are so different from sort of the content of the poems. There's like it's a really interesting book to read. Do you want to talk a little bit about how it came to be?
So after Trump's election, I was pretty, disillusioned and disoriented and angry and afraid and lots of other things. And I was trying to find something to latch onto, to sort of ground myself in the chaos that I was feeling. And I felt like the one thing that I knew I had control over was my writing and to some extent language. And so I thought if I could influence something, it would be how maybe these words are thought about or remembered. And so there were a lot of words that I was just hearing repeated over and over, and I was starting to lose the connotations that I once had for them, the word build, might have implied for me a lot of things about home or land and gardens and abundance, things that I think have to do with my family and my upbringing. And so slowly they were getting erased by hearing the phrase build the wall over and over. Mm-hmm. And so as I was thinking about each of these words, I really tried to kind of dive into both sort of personal stories that I may have for them, and also just the dictionary definitions of the words themselves, things that I was starting to forget that these words also meant, and to try to write those back into the poems in some way. So I wrote a poem a day for the first 100 days of Trump's presidency, and those kind of got culled down into what became the book.